Are you ready? All right, here we go. Hey, look, it's Coca-Cola Crunch time with Chris and Logan-Rogersville head coach Joel Wells. Coca-Cola Crunch time. Or not, it's actually not sponsored at all, right? So, but, you know, we're testing out advertisements here, Coach.
Yeah.
And
need a sponsor.
Yeah, exactly. You know how it works, Coca-Cola people. First one's free. So, it can be. It's available. And, Coach, I'll tell you what. If we can be the kind of podcast that goes 4-0, like you've started, okay? I mean, this is the second podcast we've done. Your first year at Logan-Rogersville, already getting off running 4-0. Got a big matchup with West Plains coming up this week, which, by the way, Zizzers fans, we interviewed the Branson coach last week. We don't mean to keep doing that to you, but we're going to talk about a little bit of Zizzers later. But, Coach, congratulations on all the success. This is not your first rodeo, your second, your third, your fourth, or your fifth. You have been all over the Ozarks and got success everywhere you've gone. And once again, you know, the team that you're on is having success. What has been so key for you guys?
Well, I mean, the players have really bought into what we're doing. You know, I was hired, I think, in February or March, and spent a lot of time there with the players. But the players deserve all the credit. They've really bought into what we're doing and worked extremely hard, and really proud of what they've been able to accomplish so far.
You know, and you were at Harrison. You were part of that Goblins program that won 7 straight. While you were there, no big deal over Mountain Home. That's a great rivalry. Of course, lately Mountain Home has gotten the upper hand in that rivalry. You know, are there any differences between, you know, the Arkansas football scene and the Missouri football scene?
Well, you know, there's logistical differences for sure, but you know, 16, 17, 18-year-old kids, they're the same everywhere. And the football part in Arkansas, there's probably a little more emphasis on athletics in general in the state of Arkansas, but you know, that's transitioning into Missouri. As you can see, the great facilities that are being built, you know, at our place at Rogersville, at Nixa, at several other places with the indoor facilities, and they're really putting money into that athletic facilities right now, which is going to pay off.
And I got the list here. Harrison, obviously, we just mentioned. Kickapoo, Liberty, Nixa, Washington, Missouri, Cassville. I'm sure you learned so much at each stop. You know, what are some things that maybe stand out to you at some of the other stops that you had?
Well, you know, my wife and I, we've had really good experiences everywhere that we've been, and feel like that you know, we've gotten better at each stop, and really what I enjoy the most is building a program, and we've been fortunate enough to get into some programs. You know, timing is a lot of it, but just being able to get kids and coaches on the same page and pulling the same direction, and being able to you know, turn some programs around.
You know, you had a great matchup here. I looked it up, Coach. I have to confess something. So I realized this after we last spoke. I went 27-1 in my picks last week. Do you know the one I got wrong?
Yeah. I do.
You do know this one.
I do.
It was a matchup of 3-0 teams, Carl Junction versus Logan-Rogersville. And here we go. We've got the video here from the game. And yes, the team in red, Carl Junction, also 3-0. Now, the beginning of these highlights were mostly Carl Junction scoring, and then towards the end, we've got all you guys scoring. Talk about how this game went and how you guys adjusted to them.
Well, you know, it was a great football game. First of all, they're a very good football team, well coached. Todd Hafner's their head coach, very good. But it started off the game. You know, we got the football first, converted 2 4th downs on the first drive, and scored. And you really back and forth ball game, and we were up 2 scores at half. They came back and tied the ball game at 34, and we were able to drive it in the end and score and win the ball game.
Yeah, I mean, we love that. We got that video coming up here. We you know, and then we don't know, because it's funny. So we get these videos sent to us, and we're not always at them ourselves. And so here we go. Your quarterback, young Mr. Freeze, there finds the big guy. And he's in. That counts right there.
That counts. That's in. He crossed the line. Ben Bisher, Ben, a basketball player, and didn't play a year ago. Came back out for football this year, and has really had a nice year for us. I think caught 6 or 7 balls the other night, and a touchdown, and really good hands, and you know, really proud he's out there helping us.
Yeah, I mean, and you got a quarterback that looks like he can run, he can throw. You got big targets like that for him to work in with. When you first took this job, what were the things that you noticed right away about this program that you thought, you know what, I can do some things here?
Well, we have some skilled athletes out there, and some of them are young. Gage Hale's having a big year right now. I think he caught 10 balls the other night for 179 yards. He's a sophomore. One of our better receivers as well hadn't got to play much this year as a sophomore because of injury, Sky Vaughn. But Cash Clark, a really good athlete on the edge. Nate Knowles can run for us. Joe Roach has moved from quarterback to running back. He's averaging about 8 yards a carry. So we got some skilled athletes, and our quarterback, Sam Free's, really proud of him. He's played extremely well, and the other night, I think he was 25 of 31 throwing the football, and had a couple of big, nice runs as well. But really proud of the way he's played.
Coach, I just want you to know, not making that mistake this week of picking against you guys, just so you know.
My wife said go ahead and pick against us.
It works, huh? Yeah.
It worked.
Well, look at this. We got the Parkview game here. I actually, funny story yesterday, Coach Cam Bruffett right there. We have the Maverick parking lot right near the station here, the gas station. And so is Parkview. We kind of joke that they're the home team here. They're right down the road from us. And I saw Coach in the parking lot, and I talked to him the other day, and he had nothing but nice things to say about you guys and your program and how tough you guys were in that game. And obviously, you guys went in there. We were fortunate enough. We've gone to 3 of your 4 games, so we've got video of that, and we'll see a video of a Marshfield game from last year too, as part of the podcast. But yeah, talk about what works so well in this game.
Well, they played a lot of man coverage on us, and in this ball game, and we were able to really get deep, get behind them. They really created some problems for us in the run game. They really did, and they've really had some hard luck. They could really be 3-1 right now, Parkview, and I think they're 0-4. But they've done a nice job over there. They've got some players, but we're able to get behind them, throw it over their head a few times, and make some big plays and some turnovers. Cash Clark right there with an interception, and I think he's got 4 or 5 interceptions this year so far in 4 games.
Yeah, I mean, it just seems like things are really clicking. I know when I first got here, I remember the program had decided to kind of like go away from the passing quarterback thing. It was like all Wildcat for a little while there. When you got in, what were some things that maybe you needed to help your players adjust to in terms of the scheme that you were going to run?
Well, the biggest thing that we had was if we knew we could be successful if we could get everybody in the right spot. If we could get, being able to get everybody, we talk about getting everybody in the right seat on the bus. If we can get everybody that way and pull in the same direction, and we really got more linemen out there than I thought we would, led by really Vance Nally. Vance, he's a Central Missouri State commit. Okay. He's 6'5", 290, offensive tackle.
Oh, nice.
Very intelligent, smart young man, good offensive lineman. But we've got some linemen offensively and defensively that a lot of teams would like to have. So with that and skilled athletes, it gives us a chance.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, you go to Rogersville. I'm sure you were well versed in this when you took the job, but it just seems like it's quicker to say what sports. Hey, there you are, Coach. We'll transition to the next one here. Let's see if I do this right. Oh, well, there's us. See, I got to do all this directing stuff myself. This is new. I have a new appreciation for my coworkers.
There you go.
Let's see if I can get this one to work. But, you're probably well versed in the fact that this team, this school has so many good athletes. It's quicker for us to say what's, sports they don't threaten to go to a Final Four in. So you have these kind of athletes. What was key to kind of taking advantage of that and make sure you get your share of them on the football team?
Well, I think we're still in the early processes of that. We certainly have some good skilled athletes that play other sports. Cash Clark's a really good baseball player. He's a center fielder on their baseball team. Gage Hale, he's one of their top track athletes. So we've got a few of the basketball players, few of the baseball players. Obviously, we'd like to have more.
Yeah.
I think in the future we'll get more.
Always have more, right?
Yeah. I think in the future, if we have some success and they see our program going the right direction, then we'll get those players out there. And if we do, it's really got a chance to be a special program.
Look at this. We got the Ava Bears. Your Ava win from earlier this season. That's a pretty storied program you just went up against. And what was key, I guess, when you played them?
Well, we put up about 500 and something yards in 30 offensive plays, but we couldn't get them off the field. So they ran about 60 plays, and their quarterback was really tough to handle. And obviously offensively they're very well coached, and they're a flex bone team, and we struggled getting them off the field, but we were able to make a few more plays than they did in our pass game, and so that really, we were able to pull out a win.
Love it. That's those are the fun ones for us to do, Coach. Then we can go shoot the game. We can get out of there in like 15 minutes. You give us enough plays like that. Now this, of course, this game right here. This is last year's win over Marshfield. But obviously this was before you got here, and this would be an example of, I'm sure you watched tape of games like this, and you probably thought to yourself, okay, we could do this, we could try that. What do your eyes see when you see a game like this from last year?
Really what I look at is just the personnel. What kind of players do we have? What kind of improvements can we make? With those players in an off season or that period of time, and you could tell that there was potential there to get better, and so far we've got a lot of football left to be played, and we certainly have a big one with West Plains on Friday.
I'm a big fan of the lit up LR that they light on fire. Have you seen how they do that yet?
I've seen it, but I haven't seen how they do it. No.
You have to like douse it with gasoline first, and then you light it on fire. Maybe
I don't
that
know.
way it stays that way. I see that every time we go over there on the night game. That's nice. That's fun. Yeah. Okay, so obviously you got West Plains. Let's talk about them. You got them coming up. That's a Zizzer program that's just always a talented group. They love their football out there. What are the things you're going to be looking out for?
They're big, strong, physical. They'll come in and bully you around, we've got to stand up to the fight. I mean, we've got to stand to the challenge, and if we got to withstand the storm there in the first quarter of the physical part of the ball game, and if we do, it's going to be a 4-quarter game. It's going to go to the end. They've had a great program, and won the district last year, and so it's going to be a big challenge.
Yeah, they actually have been playing Mountain Home a couple years in a row too. So you guys have that in common. You both know that opponent. So
we do very much so.
Yeah. All right. So what has maybe been the most fun thing for you taking over this program? I'm sure, obviously you were out. How many years were you out?
3.
Did you miss it? Like what went into deciding to come back here?
Well, I did miss it. I was the head coach there at Harrison for 7 years, and we had such a good run of things. We'd made it to the semifinals twice, quarterfinals 5 times, and I just felt like that I'd taken it as far as we could go, and needed a new challenge. And I had some AD duties there for the last 3 and coached a little golf, but I knew I wanted to get back in it, and I knew I wanted to cross back into the state of Missouri, and was really looking for a place that I felt like that it could make a difference, in a program that that had room to grow, and I think Rogersville is just that.
Yeah, I bet you. I come from a coaching family too. My dad, I like to brag on him. He had been a football, basketball, baseball. He kind of coached a little bit of everything, and then he became New York State Tennis Coach of the Year. And he coached girls tennis. He had never done that before, and it was just a testament to that. My dad loved coaching, and obviously you're kind of built the same way here. It's funny. I wonder, does your wife say, "Hey, we gotta get you out of here, man"? You know what I mean? Is that part of it?
That's a big part of it. She, usually when football season's over and I'm home for a few days, she's like, "Hey, don't you have somewhere you need to be?" So we've been 38 years married, and she understands our alone time's important too, and certainly hers is. She's been retired since 2017, so she likes me out of the house as much as possible.
My folks, I'll brag on my mom here for a second. She's 69 years old. They've been retired they're retired teachers, 8 or 9 years now, maybe 10. But my mom just became a EMT. Oh. She's 69 years old.
That's awesome.
Volunteer. Sun City Center, Florida. They have this thing called the Squad, and she's just like, she was already there as like first. What happens is a 55+ community. They hit the life alert button.
Oh, yeah.
The first people that get there are the people who live there because they're right in that gated community. My mom and dad have always volunteered for that. My mom wanted to take it a step further, so she goes to college, like basically classes with these kids, and like gets a degree basically, and she's not even gonna get paid for it. She's just gonna do it volunteer to like serve the community and everything. And so like that speaks to what you're saying. It's like, even when you stop doing something like that, but if you love it, if you want to be more involved, it's like you have that itch, huh?
It is the itch, and the competition really is the biggest thing. And what I missed probably the most was the game planning. Seeing a plan come to fruition and work out for you. That's really the competitive side of it. And probably the biggest thing out there that I've enjoyed more than anything is just really seeing the joy on the young men's face when we're able to pull off a win. The other night, it was worth all the work and to be able to do it and to see that was really a great thing.
So you've been on both sides of the Nixa and Kickapoo rivalry, huh? What was that like?
I have, yes, I have. It's good versus evil, depending on which side you're on.
Hatfields and McCoys,
yeah,
right?
Yeah. It obviously in basketball, some huge rivalry games. Coach Osborne, a really good friend of mine. We worked together there for a long time. He lives 4 houses down from me.
Oh yeah.
So. So we're good friends, and then when I was at Kickapoo, Dick Rippey was the coach there, and obviously some great rival games there.
Yeah, I did a feature one time on Coach Osborne and his dad, who does the stats for him on the sides, and now obviously he's technically retired, right? Again, but he's also most recently at Catholic, and we got to cover him there a little bit. And I'll tell you, did you see the game-winning shot in the postseason last year?
I did.
When Nixa hit that. I was there at the game against Kickapoo, and standing room only, that building. Like, it was just wall to wall. I had to go as high up as possible to get video of the shot because there was just no room for us anywhere.
Yep.
And just the atmosphere, man, it was so great. Obviously, not the way Kickapoo wanted things to go,
right.
but either site that you go to, it's just... there's nothing like it, huh?
Right. Well, Brock Blansett, the head coach at Nixa, is a really good friend of mine, and I was actually at the game the year before over at Ozark in the district final when Kickapoo beat Nixa.
Okay.
So I wasn't allowed to come back this year for him, but
he didn't let you out. Yeah.
But there's 2 great coaches there, 2 great. I mean, it's a great rivalry for sure, and. When I was at Kickapoo, we played Nixa 3 times, and the head coach, Rich Rehagen at Nixa, was my defensive coordinator, which is now he's my defensive coordinator at Rogersville.
All right.
So he retired and is working there, and they beat us the first couple times, and we were able to beat them, in a playoff game at Kickapoo, which was a huge win for us, which really was a really good rivalry, good clean rivalry, really.
So. What was it like when you called your defense coordinator there and the other guys to get the band back together here?
Yeah. We tried. Certainly, he was helping coach at Glendale last year. Been retired, and he said we met and talked, and he said he wanted to do it. And Rich is one of the best defensive football coaches, in the state, in my opinion. A really good football coach in general, but a really good defensive football coach. And we were able to get him. I was able to get Aaron Wells, who also was at Nixa as a Nixa guy, and he was Rich's offensive coordinator for 12 years or whatever it was, and really good football coach. So we were able to bring a couple of good experienced football coaches in. Then I brought a couple of coaches with me from Harrison that are at our junior high level. Bruce Humphrey, he used to be the head coach at Carthage. He used to be the head coach at Nevada. Now he's our head junior high coach, and brought a young man with me who played for me at Harrison, who was also coaching at the junior high out there at Rogersville. So we're starting to get the people in there, that are familiar with what we do.
I wasn't able to look up how often you just started a program and you started 4-0. Is this? How often have you done this? Is this every time you go?
It's not easy. Winning's hard.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what level it's at. Ask the Chiefs right now. It's hard.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And but we've been fortunate enough to win some football games at some places. Sometimes it comes a little quicker than others, but usually it's year 3 before you get exactly everything that you want. Because that's the only way they know how to do it after that. But obviously, timing's a lot of it, and we've got some players out there, that have played some football at the varsity level before, so they're a little bit experienced. It's really just teaching them how to win football games.
It's funny, Coach. So this is obviously our second time doing the podcast. Coach is great. Coach came in. It's 9 o'clock in the morning right now on Tuesday. And 9:30 by now. So, and we had recorded a whole podcast, and I learned, because I'm new at this, that there's a way that this can actually record with no audio, and I had no idea. And I was like cranking up the audio in there, trying to get some little sound, see if I could no, there was not a peep from it. And so, Coach, I really appreciate you coming in again. Were there any questions I asked the first time around that I didn't get to that you wanted me to get to? Did we get them all?
I think we did.
We did.
I think we did.
Cool, Coach. Thank you so much for coming in again, and I got something for you for that. I talked to the bigwigs. Okay, just to say thank you, because it meant a lot to me that you were able to come back. I was like, I almost wanted to cry. I was like, oh my God, this was the best podcast, and we just lost it, but we just did it again, so that's good. All right, so remember, I did this with Coach Aaron Hafner. We did a fake, as if we have a closing thing. All right, so we're gonna end it on this. Crunch time with Chris, Coach Joel Wells, Logan-Rogersville. Correct.